any DOT to the right of way on the sidewalk. I don't know if that protrudes into the,
Well, there's a, I mean, next door, there's one that sticks out and some up and down the street. So I didn't think it would be.
Usually the DOT is curb to curb.
Yeah.
Typically, so that would be a city sidewalk.
okay.
I know that's the way it is further down Lake Shore Drive with the mines.
Yeah, it's from the other side of the sidewalk over to the street, the
Right.
DOT. On this side of the sidewalk, that's the city.
Okay.
City sidewalk.
It's city sidewalk.
City sidewalk.
Glenn, is there anything that you're concerned about, or any questions or anything that measurements or?
No, 10 foot and 40. Okay.
Your approval condition on state department of transportation.
I could certainly check that. Just, we've got a project going with the DOT now, so I've got somebody I can double check that with quickly if we need to. But sounds like you guys are. Yeah.
I think the DOT problem when it's flashing. If it's not flashing,
Yeah, he said it's coming
That's
John,
coming down?
down. Yeah,
John,
no,
The one that's already on the front is coming down.
oh,
That
the
was
front.
coming down.
There's one on the side though, right? Because we're open.
There's
or
the
we're closed.
LED
We're- oh,
sign.
LED,
Or is
yeah.
that just, it's more of a message board?
That's a message board that we put our bands on every week.
Alright.
John, did you want to say something?
I said, I think one of the this is for a sign along 5 would be if it's flashing. If it's flashing, the DOT doesn't approve anything like that.
Yeah, it's not flashing.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just a
As a
sign.
It does have a scary face on it.
That might be a good approval. We may have to go through how.
He's a mask.
Yeah, we could put a mask on.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
A second.
Should we add the stipulation that as long as it's for the
Those
passing the Department of Transportation code?
Right.
So motion to approve pending DOT approval.
If they're even involved.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
but,
If you're involved. And we got a second?
No, Craig second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous pass.
Thank you.
Good, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Captain Ale Brew.
Chris, I think we've got Frankie Harris here and Jordan is here too, right?
All right, welcome, 716 The Fix.
How you guys doing?
Good,
How
welcome.
are you?
Yeah, I didn't have no fancy pictures of broadcast, but I got a little bit of a sample there at least.
funny videos about stuff.
Yeah, honey, I'm busy. I have a meeting on this recording.
So it's 3x5, that's smaller than the existing size.
Yeah,
right?
I got the exact size actually. I got them right here for you. I can read them. So these are existing signs already. Larry Spack had them at the building. So we're not changing anything up. The demographic is going to be the same exact thing. The big sign is 165 inches wide, and then the height is 104. And the small sign is 99 inches by 44 height. So with the height.
Okay, so we're talking about two different sizes.
Yeah, it'll be two different signs on existing property. Yes.
Wait on that pole though.
Yes, nothing's changed.
That's pretty funny. I'm dark.
Where are your plans to?
That was pretty funny.
pole itself?
We're gonna paint them, actually,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Everything is gonna.
It's already
yeah,
one
They're working now on it. I think when I
Yeah.
drove by today.
Yeah,
good.
the building's gonna get painted as well. We want to make it look good, so.
And
A
this
little
will be
glass glass.
lit up signs.
Can't figure out
what I'm gonna do with it.
We're not letting the inside of it.
Okay.
What we eventually might do is, we're gonna probably get those solar lights that would point upward towards the sign. But the sign itself is not gonna be a LED.
Okay.
I just haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with it yet. Gotta get a key ring, and
Are you hearing something over there?
am I just gonna hang it up or what,
It's not John. I don't know who.
Maybe I'm
Someone else joining us?
It's not me.
But you hear someone talking here.
It says Joe Ward on my, my laptop.
Joe, if you can hear us, if you could just mute yourself with some feedback from your.
Oh, was it me?
I can kind of see the top of his head right now.
Got it.
Or, yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Sorry, guys.
So your sign's just basically gonna be for the barber shop, right? Not for the
There's,
car wash.
yep, there's gonna be two separate ones. I got a picture of actually the car wash one here for you guys to look at as well, and I can email that to you or whatever. Alan designed that one for you. Looks pretty good. So that's gonna be, what we're doing basically is gonna be a hand car wash assembly. Where instead of you going through just a drive-through car wash, even the touches, we're gonna actually have an assembly of guys washing the car, hand wash, you know, so, that'll be right there in the corner, and then the front end is gonna be a unisex, barber shop. So we'll have hairstylists and barbers in the front establishment. But it is all together, it is 716 to fix. It's just two separate kind of services that we're gonna be providing. 716 to fix, the fix, yes.
So did you say that sign is what's gonna be going up in place?
No, that's gonna go there. That one's staying there. Now, there's a second one. I don't know. All right, so this one right here is gonna be the car wash.
Gotcha.
So that's the big one.
Okay,
That's
so
the one
the
that's
shorter,
standing
the
up.
shorter pole is
Yes, that's
that
gonna,
one?
yep, and that's gonna be pointing towards the entrance.
And that's
of-
going here.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's gonna be 716 to fix. Yep, and then the used car is gonna be
You can
replaced.
see it in the background here. I think.
Yep, that's how it is.
Are these double-sided signs?
Yes.
Are they sandwiching the existing one, or are they
No,
replacing?
they're gonna replace it.
Replacing all
Yes.
together, okay.
We're replacing, I'm doing it for him, because I have the sign check, and that's why I stayed, I'm sorry. But we're just replacing the faceplate, putting it right inside all the,
All the framing.
Yes.
Okay.
the only thing is it's so old, there is no power going out to it, so that's why they said
No lights.
they're gonna shine lights on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of.
Oh, I understand.
lights inside.
Okay.
So the projection lights?
Yes.
Okay. Not internal.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept, if anybody, nothing you guys want to question, that the signs be approved contingent upon the poles and the box framing be painted
Yes,
to look like a finished product.
of course.
One second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, good luck, you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. I'll drop you guys off the letter. from-
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
guys.
Take a look at us. If you come in.
So
your free haircut. Watch your cord, wait. Oh. Take care. Take care.
All right, next we got Lakeside Works LLC.
So
We've seen you guys a few times, man.
just, while they're coming up to, we approved their original site plans, down for their space. But they've since had to revise some of their site plans, to what they need in terms of the new space and some elevator issues and some things like that. So they're coming back to kind of give us an update and look at the latest site plans, for what they intend to do now. I think the biggest thing, and Joey, I'll let you take over, is I think originally they were gonna knock down the part of the building in the back that was the garage, the brick part, and they're now keeping that and utilizing it, as part of the
So
space.
One
part
of them
the-
was Spaghetti Warehouse or something, right?
Right,
That
it
was-
still is,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
it still is. So my husband Troy, and our new architect, John. So what happened was when we went through the bidding process, 3.8 was the estimated price, took it to the bank, and the bank is not okay with that. The amount of money that it's gonna cost versus the revenue that we can capture is not offsetting the cost. The bank doesn't want to loan us the money. So the bank said if we can get the cost down, then they would loan us money. Same bank we've been dealing with, local, Lakeshore Savings. They've been very, very accommodating, all up till we went through the bidding process. The three actual bids that came to, give us the bid, got it down to 3.6, making some minor adjustments, but that still was not low enough. So we've unfortunately we've called on 3 other additional architects to make adjustments to the building and try to come up with the most comprehensive, least expensive way to bring this to fruition without really changing so much the design of the building. So John has been with us only about a month because we've had numerous architects say yes and then back out last minute. So because of our turnaround time needing to be immediate, he was willing to, he was also on your list, and he was willing to give us a shot. And actually, with the latest plan, we've been working hand in hand with Dave Sanford with Pacone. They were the bidders that gave us the least cost on the first bid. So he's actually been at the building with us, and between the two of them, they're also communicating to get this cost down. So the plan is that the elevator is actually going to go in the existing shaft now. That was not going to happen until John came up with some ideas of how we could make it work. And then secondly, rather than demolish all the concrete work around it and the existing building, we're going to put PT and doctor's office in the existing building and try to recoup more money on the full 4-story building. So he's got some really great ideas. He's been working hand in hand as well with my father. So some of the printed pictures you got, that was just to get us in the meeting. And then John came along and gave us his stamped site plan, which is slightly different from what my dad had because my dad wasn't able to work on the one that he had just yet. But the prettier pictures is basically what the outside of the building can look like. And my dad is trying with John to try to make it match as much as possible, or at least have a neat accent to the original building, which is not there right now. So I'll let him speak on, you know, all of the exact building site plan. And then if you guys have any additional questions, Troy and I, and we can all answer if you have any thing to bring up after he gives a little an overview of the project.
So to be different than what we had before there were 2 new stairwells and a new elevator shaft, which was an addition to the building. So to try to mitigate some of that cost and to keep the exterior of the 4-story building looking very similar to the way it does, rather than putting some massive additions to it. All of the stairways, all of the elevators, or the elevator will be inside the existing 4-story building. But the only major difference is one of the stairways we have to extend all the way to the roof. So that'd be the stairway next to the elevator. So it'd just be a continuation of the existing elevator penthouse. So it really won't change the outside that much. Obviously, the brick will be all cleaned up and repointed. There'll be new windows that match the existing windows. So we're trying to keep the 4-story building looking like it still does, but in a nicer form. And then we're taking the existing 1-story concrete block building, which is at grade, and that will be the medical PT office because we already have accessibility to it. So we don't have to put additional lifts or anything else to that. What we may add in there, you can see on one of the floor plans, is there'll be a small loft area because that building is so tall. That'll be private offices for Jolie and things. So there won't be any clients going up there. To make that building look nicer, we're taking the overhead door out. We're going to replace that, put a series of aluminum glass doors in, and then above it, we want to put a row of windows. Then the outside of that building, ideally, I'd like to put brick on it. I'm not sure if that will fit into the cost. At the very least, it will be recoated on the outside, so it won't just be the bare concrete block the way it is now. And then in the juncture between the single-story building and fourth-story, we're proposing to build a brand new one-story entry lobby. There'll be a separate entry lobby for the medical office, PT, and then a slightly larger one, which would be the main entry for the apartments. That will, what we're planning on is on the roof of that, that'll be a flat, low slope roof. We'll put an outdoor patio, which will only be accessible from the second floor. That'll be for the apartment residents. Rather than trying to put something up on the roof of the store, the 4-story, which
I initially wanted.
yeah, which does a great view from up there, but there's probably only 3 days of the year that you can be up there where the wind doesn't want to take you off the roof of the building. So that, that's part of what we're looking to do there. Then as far as the site itself, we have one accessible parking spot on the site with a kind of a little widened area for a vehicle drop off area, which would require the sidewalk to come in. That's where we're putting all of our planting because that's the most hospitable area. Maybe we'll put window boxes on the Lakeshore Drive, but really no other planting there unless it happens to be portable, because I think it's just not a really nice environment, especially in the wintertime. All that has to be plowed. New York State DOT plows the snow pretty vigorously there. I don't think anything would live along that Lakeshore side. And so again, the most of your parking is going to be across the street, across Washington Street in the parking lot. What we may ask for at some point would be a new entrance drive, which would be across the street from our drop off. So somebody can pull in, drop off a patient, drop off their friend, go to the apartment, and then pull into the parking lot.
So one reason as well, I didn't even mention, when they got to the part that John's talking about, utilizing the interior for the stairwells and elevator, which was the reason we never wanted to go that route, is we lose so much square footage. However, what happened was when we got the boring studies back and the architect worked hand in hand, even with my uncle, who was also an architect, they were coming up with these outlandish site plans, which were going to include caissons and all this. So the cost skyrocketed beyond Troy and I's imagination because of the boring studies, being as close as we were to the water. John disagreed that it needed to be that extravagant. However, it still didn't, with our cost budget, and we have to actually have the assessment done from the bank. They didn't think putting all that work into the ground was going to recoup any money. So we're trying desperately hard now to utilize some of this existing structure that already is there versus demolish any of it and start from scratch again.
And since moving your offices, now we have what's left of the entire 4-story building, 4 apartments.
Square footage
So
back.
the way we're looking at it, the first floor, the second floor will have single-story apartments. The third and fourth floor, because the fourth floor is a little shallower, will most likely have loft-style apartments. Obviously, that's a better view, probably more rent, things like that. So, and what'll happen is the elevator will only go to the third floor because that would be the highest point of accessing any apartments. So the elevator doesn't have to go to the roof of the fourth floor or anything.
Which I forgot to mention as well, after talking to many elevator companies and getting a lot of them in as well for bid, to utilize it to go all the way to the basement was not feasible, because then they had to go into the ground and work with all of their reinforcements on the actual exterior of the building. So then again, we got back to doing a whole bunch of excavation and work to the basement. So with the elevator company's ideas as well as the architects, the building will only, they'll start the pit in the basement level. So the basement level will not include elevator. It'll only have access via the 2 stairwells and the existing stairwell that comes out to
the elevator will go from the new entry lobby to be able to get on there. If you're only going to the first floor, you're going half a level up. You get off the opposing door or up to the second or third floor.
It's a fancier elevator, but it's going to be in the existing shaft and meet ground level, which we had not intended to do before. We were gonna have to have a extravagant lobby in order to get you to the right level there in the past. So this takes away a lot of extra square footage on the stamped ground level, because you'll walk right into the lobby and then be able to enter on the elevator or walk to the stairway to go all the way up to the rooftop.
Where before someone's gonna have to take a lift to get to the first floor and then go to where the elevator was and take that, so.
But it's not an easy project. What I got myself into here.
Just essentially though, like for our planning board site approval, we would only be dealing with, just, I don't know if the other board members, with these drawings, these essentially are,
Right. They were just.
Mock-ups.
yeah. So anything we would be approving would be through this set of the architectural. Yeah, you don't have.
No, I don't have.
Cause they, I mean, the,
Entrance isn't even in red.
yeah, the mocked up and color drawings vary quite differently from the actual plans. Ron, you got anything?
No,
And actually, I have a larger set if anybody's having trouble reading any printing.
This is fine for me.
Way too.
Do you want to just get the big drawing now?
No, this is
No,
Okay.
totally fine.
I can't read with my glasses on.
Oh, okay.
I believe too, because when we approved the original site plan too, we also approved their ability to use the city lot as additional parking, because they didn't have
Yeah, no, they want spot there.
proper parking. Would you want us to put that in again?
Yeah, the planning board can reduce the required off-street parking because there is a public parking.
And does it show for one handicap?
Just one handicap spot. We could potentially fit more, but then it's very tight. And I was leery about me having too much vehicular driving on the site to have that contradict pedestrians trying to come and go, so.
Yeah, I think the layout works very well. Then for the trash storage, will that be like just a fenced, double doors fence?
Yeah, but it'd be a double door, and then right now we're looking at just having individual totes for each apartment.
And does this layout work for what gets you to the point where you're able to move forward financially with the project?
Correct, that's the main reason, and now we're paying another architect as well to redesign, so we are so ambitious on trying to make this go as quickly as possible. Capone is actually, with
Yeah.
construction has been also working hand in hand with John to try to get the numbers ready for the bank immediately. So that as soon as it gets passed, that we can go over to the bank and hopefully our goal is 3 million. That's what our goal is. And if we can get anywhere close to that, the bank was saying 3.2, so we have a little bit of leeway. Then we should be able to move it forward on the loan as quickly as possible to start to break ground. So we have not signed anything for the construction company because it's going to basically be based on time as well. We were working as well hand in hand with the RPO Pill, and they have as well come in with a bid very similar to the other company. So between the two of them, one of them should hopefully be able to do it like as quickly as possible, because our project's small compared to what they're used to. So hopefully they can work with us. And COVID is killing us because
Yeah.
the numbers are skyrocketing for all the, they said 3 times on the plumbing and the lumber. And I don't, know if there's any way we can, as soon as we start to break ground, talk to Diego with the project, because with COVID and then all these different companies not, really working with us on any of the costs, everything has been higher than it ever was in the past. So hopefully that timeline, hopefully will be closed. Mr. Haas is also saying, we can even get what we need for that million to get recouped with his creativity, being we can open the doors and do what we need to do by getting, the majority of the building done, especially now since we're not looking at demolishing majority of the structure that was already surrounding it. So we're hoping that the timeline won't be an issue, because Troy's not willing to let the bank not get their $1 million, or we won't be able to pursue project. We've got now it was starting at about 270,000, now we're about 400,000 into it of our own money. So we're starting to get a little antsy and a little nervous. Yeah, so with no loans, so it's no fun to be where we're at right now.
I think the layout and the kind of simplifying things does work for that area.
No one's really stressed it, but what's really cool about the redesign, they're gonna have all apartments in the main building. Right on the. So it was
So
their
they won't
main
be
floor.
entering both sides anymore.
Right, the main
Off to this
floor,
area.
the second floor, and
Yeah.
the third and fourth floor are gonna be 2-story apartments, which is really cool. They'll have all the windows to look out in their 2-story apartment on the third and fourth floor, on really the only 5-story structure left around, the Clarion,
That's
or was it
three
called
stories.
Clarion, the
Yep.
hotel across the street, and then the housing over there. So I think it's and we had to just downsize the elevator, downsize everything, make it all, more residential, so. That's the change here, the big change. I think that's the bigger change. Yes, we're gonna keep the structure, but gosh, we're gonna change the inside of the building because of costs. And because it's it's a neat design, why not, we'd like to come in lower and have a unique apartment with a 2-story on the third and fourth floor, right? It's third and fourth, right? Third and fourth.
Yeah.
We consider it third and fourth. And the elevator doesn't go to the basement, that's the other big change. It's just too expensive, you all go down there, hit water, etc. So we had to give up the basement as access, we can access it, but it's not going to be accessed by the patrons.
Is there any possible, or is there any proposed lighting for the site?
Well, I'm gonna point out right away, we just approved the very big LED sign right next to the building.
So we're counting on it.
We say that right, the house here.
I was,
But,
I mean, any lighting that we put on there, what we, try to do is make sure we adhere to dark sky requirements and things. So what we may have is some historic looking lighting that will be near the top of the building to shine down to try to get the effect of the wash across
Yeah,
the
yeah.
brick thing to really accentuate that texture. And then, of course, in the little courtyard area, very little, we'll have some, smaller lighting in there so that it's.
Just like ground lighting?
Yeah,
Right.
ground lighting.
To
Yeah, we want
distinguish
that.
what parts are walkable, what parts are
Yeah.
for the cars to drive around, because that turnaround is gonna be essential, and this plan actually makes it much easier to understand, because we're not utilizing as much of that parking lot as we were before with structure. Now we're gonna do more of just a turnaround to get people to be able to be dropped off.
Yeah, it's really just like a wide area, so somebody could pull in off the street, drop someone off, and then go park. So, or go directly into the accessible parking space.
I guess to clarify your question, maybe signage at this point, you're not sure what you're gonna do.
Oh, you mean like signage was a big question, but there is an existing sign on the outside of the building on this corner, and it is very small, but it's very nice, the way it's located. I don't know that we've really
Yeah, we haven't discussed it. I
buttoned
mean,
down on, that particular sign. That sign doesn't even have, electric to it.
No.
So-
I mean,
You have to come back for.
Yeah, we could do it,
yeah,
any motion would be like a
Without
partial
signage.
or, sort of moving forward.
We'd have a sign on the back, we're gonna, for business, line's gonna be in the back of the building now.
But yeah,
Where the
ju-
entrance is.
so you would have to come back.
Yeah,
just
we'll
with
have,
the
we'll have one
signage.
there.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it does have one that goes out to the road,
Yeah.
it's small.
and
But
I
we
don't
need
think
much
any,
signage.
any sign that's going to be a lit sign or something is gonna be for your business, so that'd be in the back. On the, say, the lakeshore side, being that's residential, it's not hotel, we don't need a
Right.
lit sign, so maybe a more, of just a painted sign with some, lights that shine on, nothing too extravagant, because it's someone's
Right.
home, someone's home.
It's not advertising as much as.
Yeah.
And maybe go back to that original idea, which had the macaroni company on the side of the building for the apartments, and have that also on the outside of the building.
Yeah, like that.
Well, an address sign? Or something in address sign? like-
Right, yeah, you gotta have an address on it,
Something
yeah,
like
for
that,
sure, with the
Okay.
numbers and,
With buildings like that, that's what they, pretty much what they already have.
Sure.
They have an address
right,
sign.
the address on the outside,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which, that would do a lot for Lakeshore Drive.
I hope so.
1820 Lakeshore Drive,
Mhm.
it would do a lot for Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah, sure would.
Did you have any feedback that?
No,
I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary site plan contingent upon coming back with signage when that's ready.
Probably should also include in there just for the motion, the parking piece.
Oh, yeah.
And also
Off-street
with the approved of the city parking lot usage.
Approval and the reduction of off-street parking, is that the way it should be worded, Glenn?
And how about the entryway, a new entryway into that parking lot? Because I think they're talking about an entryway off.
Yeah, we were gonna bring that, John,
That's
thinks
something
that's
like
a
I said.
really good idea to see if there's any possibilities, so, but when we do get to that next meeting,
Okay.
we'll bring that up as well to see if it's something the city is willing to allow us to do, just to make the curb cut so that people wouldn't try and go in and out of the main road again. It does get pretty dicey out there during, winter time or eight to, right at, it's when everybody's turning right on Central.
There's two entrances also on Second Street.
On Second
Right, so
Street,
that
but
even
also-
might be the better of the two sides to direct people to.
And I haven't done any research on it, but it almost looks like there's existing curb cuts there that, then they were abandoned and grass was planted, so. I mean,
On Washington?
On Washington.
On Washington, there was.
Was it?
There was at one time an entry there.
Interesting.
You'd want to be able to make a left-hand turn on this also, right? If you're going north on Washington,
Mhm.
because it'd be hard to get out of this parking lot up here, left
Exactly,
and
if
left,
there's,
Mhm.
yeah. Right,
or go around the block.
yeah.
Actually, the one thing I probably would share with you, just as you're doing your final design, we are in the process of a project on Lakeshore Drive for DOT where we're doing pedestrian friendly crossings and bike lanes and middle islands, but this particular intersection is key because it's a major cross from the Clarion across. So we actually have some design plans that are going to change this corner.
Nice.
It's
To
going
put
to
a
widen
Get
crosswalk
rid of
across
the
Lake
electric
Shore.
tolls,
So, yeah, there's
telephone
gonna
poles,
be
they're
a-
awful.
bump outs and pedestrian refuge and
Okay.
things like, so
Okay,
this corner is going to change a little as that goes on. So just so you're aware now, and I can share that with you.
yeah, that'd be great. Timing it.
Hi, Mayor.
So just the motion was Andy Bohm to preliminary site plan approval and also approving the reduction in the off-street parking. And did we have a second on that?
No.
Also, Frank.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, yeah, guy.
Unanimous, yes. Good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, we didn't disappear, we're constantly working.
Ryan or Alan, anything on the horizon that we might need to plan for next month that you foresee?
And we got new dates too, so.
Nothing right now? Okay. Oh, I apologize. We did miss.
The resolution.
We missed the resolution on the
The meeting schedule change.
So, yep, at the very beginning, it's just the meeting schedule for the rest of the year, obviously tentative. Second page right after your agenda. But we were talking about 4 p.m. fourth Wednesdays of the months with the exception of November and December because of the holidays. It would be the third.
I'll make them,
Agenda
John's
items.
making a motion.
to accept dates as presented.
Oh, yeah, okay. Second.
I'll second.
Andy Ball.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good. Fourth one's any reason for that? Just so we don't conflict with something?
Just because the
Do you always do
the
one?
fourth was Thanksgiving. The fourth week of November was Thanksgiving.
Is that we always are, fourth Wednesdays? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I
we
feel like we
traditionally,
changed it much.
because we were trying to do it right around the zoning board meeting.
After that, yeah.
And then December because of Christmas.
And those dates and times are as needed.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's
Obviously,
usually.
it's just to have it on file.
Motion, is that it? We good? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right, we are
Thank you.
adjourned, gentlemen.
Adjourn at 4:56 PM.
Oh, yeah.
Next, next month to let us know.
Motion to adjourn, sorry.
Yeah.
Say it again? You were second on the motion to
I think
adjourn?
so, yeah.
Okay, well, you are. One second, I
Yep,
just
yep,
want-
turn up.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you, John.
happy 4th of July.
Oh, no.
Wasn't too bad. Me.